to the next presentations by Dr. Harendra Kumar Dave, Edith Cowan Universities. The topic is Theoretical Foundation of Aesthetic Wood Cultural Model.
I'm sorry that I've not been able to prepare the PowerPoint presentation, but I can talk orally. And this thing is related to the long use of the wood as it is for its different kind of aesthetic properties. And these aesthetic properties are related to the all kind of senses, right from the smell to the color to the its mechanical properties. It's displaying different kind of the architecture. So all these things is included in the sense of smell, taste. I mean, sometimes we are using the wooden barrel for the increasing the or strengthening the taste. And in that sense, we are able to use the wood for all kind of the aesthetic purpose, including touch. So for that reason, we have been able to use the wood for the long time in the history throughout the world. Now the question is, so far we talked about its mechanical strength and its other kind of the strength due to its mechanical properties. But here we are going to talk about which is based on the basically the cellulose and microfibril angle and all other anatomical properties. But here this smell, which is depending smell and the color, they are known as the chemical senses, and which is based on the secondary metabolite things. So the secondary metabolite, it's not only gives the smell and the color, but to up to certain extent it contributes to the mechanical strength also. So many examples we have seen that during all this presentation. In some of the things they explained about extractives, but this extractives plays important role in dimensional stability also. For example, if you have, it depends on the distribution of the secondary metabolite things, particularly the examples of the micro distribution and the macro distribution of extractives in the whole wood. So when the extractives are synthesized in the one particular point in the wood, then according to the diffusion rule, it depending on the time and the permeability of the cell membranes and other factors, it is distributing to the whole part of the wood. And these things, when it is if it is volatile, and say let's take an example of the sandalwood. So the sandalwood, it is known for its fragrance due to the presence of santalol. And there are other fragrant woods also, which one are described in the different textbooks. But this sandalwood is known for in the Indian culture as well as in the Buddhist culture for the long time. Now this sandalwood has got the specific properties that when you use the radial tangential RT surface and then you rub it against the grinding stone, then it can defibrate very easily because the fragrance is volatile, and in some cases, this volatile fragrances, when you rub it, when you treat it with water, with a small amount of the water, then the capillary forces are developed, and these capillary forces are enough to grind it with a small amount of the force with the hand also, and that gives the fragrant pulp. And this fragrant pulp, that is the how the sandalwood is utilized widely in the religious purpose in India, as well as it's because we can use this fragrance not only for the personal purpose, but as the cosmeceutical purpose also, because it has got the pharmaceutical properties as well as the cosmetic properties also. So for the long time, it has been used in India because of its easily ability to get mechanical pulp. And to me, this was the first mechanical pulp which is still utilized in India in the most of the Hindu houses for their daily puja purpose. So this is one of the reason how it is all the volatiles which can contribute to the capillary forces, and which makes it easy to defibrate the wood and use the pulp for the local purposes. Now the other kind of the wood, just like the colored wood, which is it is known for the non-volatile extractives. So just like a red sandalwood, I've forgotten its scientific name, but the red sandalwood is in the similar way. If you take the little bit big piece and try to defibrate it, then it can't defibrate easily. The reason is that it's a micro distribution. It is interacting with the fibers of the wood, which makes it not to easily defibrate with the force of the hand. So it cannot be used so easily. And that also contributes to the strength of the red sandalwood. And I think the many colored wood pieces, they are known for their mechanical strength. And this mechanical strength is contributed by the extractives interaction with the fiber in the different position. And its long use, it has been in any material, if it has been used for the long time, it associates with its culture, and particularly when it comes to the religion, for it may not be scientific purpose, but it is for the religious purpose. It has been it is utilized. So that property, it determines the culture. The culture doesn't determine the property, but the property of the wood, it determines the culture, and that is how it has been long time. It is used in Indian culture as well as in the Buddhist culture. Also, it's used for the fragrant purposes. And this materiality of the any material, it helps it for the sustainability of the use. And if you want to have the sustainability of the use, we should have the sustainability of the material also. And now sandalwood, it has been considered as the IUCN criteria. It is vulnerable to the extinction, but due to the cooperation or the globalization of the use of sandalwood in the perfumery industry, which is we consider as the external use or the economic use of the sandalwood. The many countries, including Australia, they are overtaking the monopoly of the Indian sandalwood, and this shows the external value and the internal value of the wood. It can contribute to the sustainability, towards the effort of the sustainability, and that is how there is a large production from the Western Australian farming in the contribution in the sustainability of the wood. So that is how the inner value as well as the external value contributes in the sustainability of the wood. And this strength contribution of the extractive in the wood, it can give the future direction of the further how to use the other chemicals to strengthen the wood properties. Thank you. If any question, please.
Yes, let's see if we have. Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
Maybe while I'm looking at whether we have questions from audiences, first I'd like to echo the presentation that I think it's very because we talk about the use of wood and often talk about sustainability and talk about or technical aspects of it, while the cultural part of it, or as if I understand that the model that you want to talk about, and then coming from other sort of reasons such as senses and so on. And that reminds me of one of the important questions for the study of traditional timber construction for Chinese architecture. Say, there's always been a question asked, like the reason of choosing wood as this is for China and also for Japan and many other East Asian countries, rather than stone for monumental building, important buildings compared to, say, Greek temples and the Chinese temple. And because obviously the stone or masonry survive from fire and last for longer. And therefore you have a lot more monuments left in Europe rather than in East Asia. And one of the reasons that many people talked about would be because it's as a cultural choice, that the choice of wood being, because wood is alive. So wood are chosen for the use of houses and palaces and so on, and rather stone being used for foundation or tomb or so. So the cultural, and therefore the ideas of preservation becoming renewal. So the wood has to be constantly changed and renewed in a way. And so that's clearly a cultural reason. And I'm taking this and thinking about other cultures. And Indian, for example, we know many say Hindu temples primarily stone, and there should be a certain reason for the attached of the texture of the stone and so on, and certain things. So I'm here out there thinking. So I'm thinking of Indian. So in what occasion the choose of wood as a cultural reason, or if it is in the context of Australia or say indigenous Australian architecture, primarily wood, and the reason other than availability and structure, is it about senses? Is any way that different type of timber can further sort of elaborate the models of the choices of wood coming from cultural or senses reason? I'm there just trying to echo your very interesting topics, not necessarily that a question for you.
You see, the people and the expertise available during those days in the early civilization.
Mhm.
I mean, the Neolithic age where the stone tools were more available. So basically, first they used the fire, water, and the grinding stone to make the best use of the wood. And that is the people, their cultural things that determines the how to use, and if it is associated with the religion,
Yes.
and then the as and later on taken by the economic value, then it is the more sustainable use of the wood.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Dave.